So we're just outside Penhurst Retreat Centre with the beautiful pond and the ducks behind us. My name is Sean Lambert. I've been leading a retreat here on mindful relationships, mindful parenting, mindfulness of God. And often people get confused about mindfulness because it's not defined properly. And at the basic level, mindfulness is our awareness and attention. But that awareness and attention that we've been given by God is relational. And what we're doing in mindfulness when we practice it is trying to come to that awareness. And that means coming to the body and coming to our senses. So our senses are streams of awareness within us, but they are all relational streams. Our senses is how we interact relationally with the world around us, with people, with creation, with God. And traditionally we have 5 senses. So sight is my relational visual sense, if you like. Hearing is another way I relate to this world. Touch, taste, smell, these are all ways that I relate to this world. But we don't just have 5 senses. Daniel Siegel, who's an interpersonal neurobiologist, would say we have 8 senses. So you have the traditional 5, but then we know something of what's going on in our bodies. That's the 6th sense. The 7th sense is we know something of what we're thinking and feeling. And what goes on in our bodies, what we think and feel, is often impacted by other people in the world around us. So they are relational as well. He says we have an 8th sense. That is that we can pick up other people's thoughts and feelings. We can read their body language. Now I would say we have a 9th sense, and that is we can pick up the presence of God around us. But when we are genuinely in the presence of God, I would say that all our senses are resonating. And this is when we feel wonder, awe, reverence, and true fear of God. So in Mark chapter 9 it says, when the crowd saw Jesus, they ran to him in wonder. So our feelings can be infused with the presence of God, and God can speak to us through wonder, through reverence, through awe. So it's really important to realize that all of these senses help us in our relationship with others, with the world, with ourself, and with creation around us. And one of the lovely things about the body, where we find our senses and our embodied mind, is that the body is always in the present moment. And that's really important. That's where reality is. But our mind does lots of mental time travel. It steps out of the present moment. It ruminates about a past that we can't change, and worries about a future that we can't control. And we live in a stressed and an anxious and an uncertain world, and we face just so much anxiety and stress that we forget and stop living in our present moment and in our bodies and in our senses. And of course we live in a virtual world where our attention is fragmented and distracted, and we need constant streams of information coming at us so that we don't feel bored and restless. And that's how we sort of keep our anxiety at bay. So it's really good to come away for a few days, to come back to our body, to come back to our senses, to become mindful relationally of ourselves, of others, of creation, and of God. And it's as we do that, the slow miracle of transformation happens, and our relationships begin to breathe again begin to have new life in them. And we begin to experience the joy that relationship is supposed to bring us. So I just want to pray that you might know happiness, that you might know health, that you might know safety, that you might know peace, and that the love of Christ would take hold of you, the light of Christ would shine in your heart, and the love of Christ would flow through you like a river. And if you want to know more about relating mindfully and mindfulness of God, then you can visit my website, seanlambert.co.uk. You can read about it in a book of Sparks, the study of Christian mindfulness, or Putting on the Wakeful One, attuning to the Spirit of Jesus through watchfulness. And if you like fantasy novels, I have one of those built around mindfulness called Flat Earth Unroofed, a tale of mind law.